What's up, guys? This is going to be the weekly bet recap episode number 3. This past weekend, we had KSW, UFC, and Combate, all three events on Saturday. So a huge day for fights. I had my best day of the year by far. My full card UFC parlay hit, 3-leg parlay on KSW, as well as the straight bets on UFC. So I couldn't have asked for a better day. We'll talk about KSW first real quick. The 3-leg on that one was Majek Kinjeko. Probably butchered that. It's the second name from the bottom on the left there, guys. Paired up with Shamil Musayev and Saladin Parnassi. Those all hit again this week, so second week in a row for KSW parlays hitting as well. We dodged a bullet on Mamed Kadalov. He started out at 250. I actually would have thought that line was maybe worth a bet, but by the time I saw it, it was at 2.2 and actually dropped down to 2.1. So dodged a bullet there. Overall, a good day for KSW. So we'll move over to UFC now. Now, as far as Combate went, guys, I had given out 2 plays, Joby Sanchez as well as Angel. I can't remember his last name, but both of those fights got pulled. I don't know if there was new opponents given or they got canceled altogether. A quarter of that event apparently dropped off the week of the fight. So the only thing I heard about was Tito winning. Other than that, those 2 bets got void, but we did take advantage, of course, of the other events. So first play for UFC was Rob Font. Paired up with the main event, not to go the distance. And, looking back on that, more times I won't put any type of second leg on a bet where it's already at 1.7, which Font was. But I really didn't see much of a chance, if any, of that main event going the distance. I really like to stick to those straight bets. And, in all honesty, though, I didn't really see any chance that main event going 5 rounds. So in future, I will stay away from those. Even after years now consistently winning, I still make those occasional mistakes. But the most important thing is to not make them again. So next up, we had Ben Rothwell. I want to give a quick shout out to Quincy Pinola. He had put a comment on my boxing video when I dropped it. I believe that was Thursday, just saying smash that bet on Ben. And I responded just saying I'm definitely going to do it. But I wanted to wait to see how the lines moved. Now, I did place a bet on Friday at 1.7. And Saturday, sure enough, somebody took a shot on Ben and knocked it down to 1.6 something. So good shot or good call by Quincy Pinola. A lot of times I'm right about line movement, but in this case I was wrong. I thought Ben might go to 1.8, but it never happened. He actually went down to 1.6. So I was happy to see that bet cash. Definitely was a sweat bet. First time that we've seen Struve use his reach, probably ever. Some nice leg kicks, switching up to high kicks. So, I was definitely thinking he was putting it on Ben a bit. That low blow did change, the way the fight was going for sure. I do think that Struve started to gas later on in the fight as well. So I was happy to see that cash. Now, most times I won't bet on fights where the lines are accurate. And in Rothwell's case, they were. But I did have a strong lean as to the way I saw the fight going, and it would have burned to watch that happen and not have my cash in that position. So, happy I took the shot and it paid off. So now we're going to talk about the main event, guys. And this is by far the biggest clutch that I've had since I started gambling. I had a straight bet at 2.1 on Rosenstruck. I also had that bet with Font, of course, the main event, not to go the distance. And then he was the last leg of that full card parlay for UFC. So I did put in a hedge after Calvillo and Rodriguez finished, just because that full card parlay had made it all the way to the end. But again, I was really hoping that I didn't have to use it. But it was looking like, even at the end of the 3rd round, I was starting to think, I possibly had lost that money and was counting that hedge money into my bankroll. Sure enough, though, 10 seconds left, he knocks out Overeem, and all 3 of those bets come through. So that was huge, probably the biggest celebration that I've had after a fight in a long time, and definitely going to be paying with my Christmas presents with some Rosenstruck money. So 5 for 5 over the past 2 weeks on KSW, 3 for 3 this week. Full card for UFC came through. Now, of course, I'm not going to count the draws as losses. I actually thought Cody Stamann won. I did actually take a small shot, but that was returned. So not really much to talk about there other than I thought it was a robbery. But we have those every week. And, looking at the other side of things, if they hadn't deducted that point from Song, he probably would have got the W. I thought Cody picked up the second and the third round, so I would have probably considered that a robbery and lost money. So, nothing, no loss associated with that fight. So, can't complain. Overall, a really good weekend. I will be dropping that UFC 245 video soon, and I wanted to address the way I'll be dropping these videos going forward. So I'm going to give out all the plays, guys, in the first video. So early on in the week, there was nothing at the weigh-ins that made me feel like, I needed to drop another video. It does take a bit of time, thumbnail and all that. So, and in past, I also felt like there's a little bit too much rehashing of the same fights and, repeating the picks. So I'll give everything out, like I said, pre-weigh-in. We'll only drop a post-weigh-in video if I see something specific. And that way, if I do drop a video, it'll be about, new information. We will continue again with the specific units this week. I was waiting on some line movement last week, so I was going to wait until that post-weigh-ins video to put up, any specifics on the bets for, like, as far as our units went. But just to come back to put the units beside the bets didn't make a lot of sense to me. So in future, to eliminate having to do all that, we'll get it sorted early in the week. And if I am waiting on any lines, I'll give you guys the number that I want it to hit. You guys can watch that line movement. And then after the weigh-ins, if there is any changes or anything, I can also update the description. So if I see anything that stands out throughout the week, or you guys are curious, you can come back, check the description of that first breakdown video for the whole event, and you can get your answers there. So in fairness, I'm going to be critical again this week, guys. We were sitting at, I think it was 5.15 with the tracking. So I won't add, obviously, this profit to that since, we didn't have those specific numbers out with this event because there was no post-weigh-in video. So, of course, like I said, I won't add to that. We'll continue with that 5.5 this week, and we'll start putting those unit numbers that I'm going to be betting beside those bets without having to come back. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I really appreciate the support. The channel's starting to pick up now. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I will be putting out some early plays for Ortega and Korean Zombie. So if you have already subscribed, hit the bell. You'll get those videos right away and be able to get the lines at the same price I did. And that's about it, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.